All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. And today we're going to be talking at the request of a friend about sciatic pain and what you can do to help relieve it. Now before you start poking around on yourself, make sure you get checked out by a competent professional and make sure there's nothing structural going on that you need to look out for while you do this. Having said that, I'm going to share some stretches, some self-massage technique, and some somatic releases that can help release the muscles that tend to cause sciatic pain. We're not going to need much equipment. You're going to use a chair, and we're also going to be using, I like a lacrosse ball, but any kind of ball will work. I've shared a lot of these previously in different videos, but I want everything to be in one place so that you guys don't have to dive through 20 different videos to find this information. And then at the end, I'll recommend how you can put this all together to help make progress over time to alleviate your sciatic pain. So exercise number 1 is actually going to be a stretch. So let's go. We're going to start things off with a piriformis stretch just because that is one of the leading problems, one of the leading causes of sciatic pain. And it's really pretty simple. You're going to sit in a chair and you want good posture, so ears, shoulders, hips in alignment as best as your ability allows. You're going to bring your foot up so that your ankle or the side of your foot is on your opposite knee. So we're doing right leg up, left leg down. Now if this is a little bit too much for you, you can slide your foot forward so that you can get a little bit less range of motion, right? And tailor the range of motion to your current mobility levels. Don't worry about if your knee's up like this or whatever. The importance is that you get in this position. You can apply a little bit of downward pressure to get into the stretch a little bit more. And you're looking for a very, very light stretch. It shouldn't be super uncomfortable. This shouldn't be a 10 out of 10. And you're going to want to hold this for a considerable period of time. You're looking like 5 to 10 minutes per leg because your body, your tissues need time. It needs that stimulus to adapt. So you're going to hold this position. You can apply light downward pressure. And once you get down here to 90, you can start bending forward at the waist, all right, to add a little bit of pressure. So what that looks like from the side here. So leg comes up so your ankle is on your opposite knee. Good posture. A little bit of light downward pressure on the knee. And then you're just going to lean forward from the hips. Don't flex the spine. Lean forward at the hips to add a little bit more stretch. And again, you're going to want to hold this for minimum 2 minutes, but 5 to 10 is going to be better. You're going to get more bang for your buck holding the stretch a little bit longer. Now, you can ratchet up the intensity on this and get a little bit more mobility out of this stretch by doing one thing. You're going to get into this same position, and what you're going to do is you're going to push this foot down into your knee. So you're going to be pushing your whole leg like this. All right? So get your position, push your leg down into your knee, and you're also going to pull up on your knee. Okay, this is going to engage all the muscles along the outside of your thigh, all the way up glute. It'll even get up into your lower back a little bit. This is going to engage those muscles, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be strengthening those muscles at their end range of motion. Okay, so this is just an isometric hold to condition those muscles. If you want to take this into an active stretch, you're going to push that knee down, or push your ankle down, push your knee down, pull up with your hand, and at the same time, you're going to bring your torso down and forward. Okay, and that's going to allow you to get into a position that you wouldn't be able to get into in just a passive stretch. Now, for those you don't want to hold those active stretches for a long time, 5 to 15 seconds tops, especially when you're first starting, they can make you extremely sore with very little time under tension. So this is going to do a great service to you, releasing these muscles along the outside of your leg, and especially these muscles that are deep inside the hip on the outside of your hip. Those are the primary causers of sciatic pain. So really focus on this stretch before you focus too much on anything else. See if you can make progress with just this. Next, we're going to move into a self-massage, and this is going to help loosen up these tissues and get a little bit more mobility through a manual tissue manipulation. So you're gonna need your ball for this one. So for this, we're gonna be doing a little self-massage. Like I said, you need your lacrosse ball or whatever ball you're using. And let's talk about, we're gonna be massaging some of the glute muscles. And first you need to know how to locate these muscles. So step one is stand square and even, and I'm turning around so you can see what I'm doing here. And you wanna feel up here, if your belt's in the way, hike your pants up or down, whatever you need to do. You're gonna find the point of your hip here, okay? You'll feel a bony protrusion, and you're gonna come up and back just a little bit, and you'll find some meat there. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna shift your weight from side to side, and as you shift your weight over, you're gonna feel some muscles up in here contracting, okay? And these are the muscles that we're gonna be working. So shift your weight to the left, they'll relax. Shift your weight to the right, you'll feel them contract and get tight, okay? So those are the muscles that we're gonna be working with the lacrosse ball. So we're gonna come over here to the wall and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. You're going to take your lacrosse ball, you're gonna find that spot that you just located. Remember, belt, waistbands, whatever you can get out of the way, get out of the way. And you're gonna place that right into the meat of the muscle that you just located. All right, feels like right about there for me. It'll probably be tender if you're having sciatic pain. And you're just gonna lean into this ball here, okay? You guys can see he's right here, just outside, above and behind my hip bone, just a little bit. All right, and what you're gonna do is you can do one of two things. You can roll the ball forward towards your hip bone. So like this. Or you can go crosswise. You're gonna need to put the ball a little bit lower, find that tender spot, and you're gonna drop your weight down, okay? This way you're gonna roll down. And this is gonna help release any kind of adhesion, trigger point, any sort of stuff that's keeping that muscle from releasing. It's also gonna have the added benefit, hopefully I haven't smacked the crap out of my mic. It's also gonna have the added benefit of bringing fresh blood, fresh oxygen, and fresh nutrients into the muscle through this compression and release that you're applying manually. So it's gonna help that muscle heal just by virtue of this massage. All right, so again, you can either go this way, or you can go this way. And when you're doing this, you can see I'm applying pressure, releasing pressure, resetting. Applying pressure, releasing pressure, resetting. So you're not just doing this, it's one direction, single direction, okay? So for the next one, it's gonna actually be a somatic exercise. So we're going to the floor for this. All right, so for this somatic exercise, you're gonna lay on your back, stretch. We're gonna work on the right leg, so left leg down, right leg up, and you're gonna place your arms out to your side, okay? You're gonna bring your bent knee up, and you're gonna let it fall across your body, okay? Depending on your range of motion, you may get further or less far than me, but you wanna go to a reasonable end position where you're not, remember this isn't a stretch, you're holding a relatively relaxed position here. If you need to, you can put pads up here so that your knee has something to rest on and you can relax better. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna contract the muscles up here in your hip and slowly pick your knee up to a comfortable height. Right? And then when you get to the top, you're gonna lower your knee back down. So it's gonna look like this. Contract the muscles on the outside of your hip, pick your knee up, get to a comfortable position. Remember, it's not a workout. You're trying to learn how to feel these muscles again. And then when you get all the way to the top, relax those muscles so that your knee drops back to the start position. And you want to do this as slowly and as controlled as possible. This slow, controlled release is what allows your nervous system to get conscious control of these muscles again and release them. If you're rushing this, if you're just dropping your knee to the ground, you're not going to get the benefit that Somatics offers. Again, one more time, you're going to contract these muscles on the outside of your hip, lifting your knee up into the air away from the floor. Get to a comfortable elevation, and then slowly release the muscles in your hip so your knee can drop back down to the ground. If this release feels jerky, then you need to slow the movement down even more, and that's going to allow you to get better conscious control of the muscles. All right, and for this one, 3 to 5 reps on each side should give you a pretty good release. When you're done with this one, you want to lay on your back and feel how your body feels different. This is an important part of resetting the nervous system. Compare your right side and your left side after doing one side, and that will let you really consciously understand how different the nervous system is receiving your body than it was before the exercise. Don't skip this step, very important. And for our last exercise, it's actually going to be a standing physical exercise. So we're going to need, we don't need anything for this one initially, but we will use something to stand on, like a yoga block or something, as you get more advanced. So I'll share the basic version, and then you can apply standing on something if you feel like it later. Now for this last exercise, we're going to be doing a pelvic list. So you're going to stand nice and firm on both feet, and you're going to be retraining your body how to lift one side of your pelvis, okay? So we're going to be working the right side, which means you're going to be lifting the left foot. And the way this works is I'm going to push my right leg down into the ground, lifting my left leg up. Don't think pick your left leg up, because then you're thinking contract these muscles to pick your pelvis up. You want to think push your right leg down. It seems like a subtle difference, but I assure you the way you recruit the muscles will change dramatically based on which way you're thinking. So stand nice and square, shift your weight over to your right foot, push your right foot down into the ground so that your left foot, really, like, you're not lifting your foot, remember, you're lifting your whole pelvis. So this whole side lifts up, and then back to your original start position. Okay? And this is going to help loosen up. It'll strengthen the muscles in your hip, but also retrain the muscles in your lower back that are deep abdominal muscles that tend to get tight, that also contribute to sciatic pain. All right, so shift your weight to the right, push your right leg into the ground, allow your left side of your pelvis to come up. And you'll know you're doing it right because you'll get space off the ground. Now, as you get more advanced, you can stand on like a yoga block so you get some elevation here, which is going to give you a much larger range of motion so you can train your hip through a much larger range of motion. All right, this helps prevent if you get that kind of waddle walk where your whole upper body's moving. This helps you retrain to just lift your pelvis as you're walking. Very subtle shift as opposed to a big moving your whole body to make space for your leg, okay? So, pelvic list. Now let's talk about how you can apply all of this in a single setting to get lots of benefit. I recommend starting off with the stretching because if you run out of time to do the other things, if you just stretch like that 4 or 5 times a day for 5-10 minutes each side, you're gonna make a lot of progress towards relieving this issue. If you wanna do a longer session, if you have more time, start off with the manual self-massage technique, then move into the somatic exercise, then move into the active stretch, and finally do the pelvic list exercise to help bring everything together. Now let's talk about what that would look like. For the self-massage, spend 30 to 60 seconds on each side just releasing those muscles. Now, when you move into the somatic release, you want to do 3 to 5 reps on each side. Okay, 3 to 5 reps on each side. Now move into the active stretch. You can either do the active stretch or the isometric contraction, either one you feel like doing. And you're gonna want to do that for like a total of, if you're doing the active stretch, do 6 to 10 reps of that. If you're gonna do the isometric contraction, do a couple sets of 5 to 15 seconds on each active stretch until you're used to it, and then you can go a little bit longer, like maybe 30-second hold. All right, you don't wanna overdo that when you're first starting. Now, when you move into the pelvic list, try and get like 1 to 3 sets of 10 reps on each side. That's really gonna help your body now that you've changed how all this musculature is working and where your nervous system thinks everything is. It's gonna allow your brain and your body to coordinate better, and you're gonna help not only build more mobility, but maintain that mobility outside of the session. That's one of the problems with just static stretching. If you're not using that new range of motion, your nervous system doesn't incorporate it, and then you lose that range of motion. So, press for time, Piriformis Stretch. If you have a lot of time, if you have enough time to do a full sequence, 20-30 minutes, then do the exercises in that sequence so that you can get a much quicker relief to your pain. Let me know what you guys think of this sequence. It's really handy for relieving especially tight hips, which is where a lot of sciatic pain comes from. Share with me in the comments down below your experience with this sequence. If you like this, would you like to see other things similar to it for other problems? Anyway, that's all I got for you today. If you liked the video, smash that thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share the video with them. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Until next time, keep your life in motion.